And hello and welcome back to Way Later. Sorry, I wanted to get through the main things I was doing, then come back to this.
In a corner of that small, dark room, Sholmes and I waited with bated breath. In time, there came from the ventilator a hiss and a soft, almost growl-like sound. Suddenly, Sholmes sprang into action, lashing furiously with his cane at a point in the darkness. "You see it, Wilson?" he yelled, his tense voice reverberating through the air. I raised my dark lantern shutter, and the room slowly came into view. Sholmes was staring intently at one particular corner when he started whispering to me. The victim's most perplexing final words. The speckled band. I believe this is the terrible coil to which you referred, Wilson. In front of us was an enormous adder, its fangs bared as it threatened to strike. It truly was the most terrible speckled band I had ever seen.
Interesting. Is that like from an actual Sherlock Holmes book? And hello and welcome back to Great Ace Attorney. Honestly, it's one of those that, like, as much as I wanted to, like, do something. Ooh.
So then, let us unravel this mystery and discover what events led to this curious murder. Pray, do excuse me. The cabin door was bolted from the inside when the man was killed. No marks to suggest the bolt was tampered with in any way. So, this would appear to be a locked room mystery. In his final moments, the victim scrawled a message on the floor. Almost certainly with the ink from this upset bottle. A Russian word. So the victim was a Russian man then. And the letters are well formed, suggesting he was compos mentis at the time. This is a most extraordinary script. And evidently not penned by the same hand as this message. In fact, I deduce it was written by someone of a different nationality. This paper seal was placed just prior to the incident, by the victim himself, I would venture. Well, what have we here?
Who are you, and what do you think you're doing here?
No one must touch before maritime police come. We must wait!
Shh. That won't be necessary. You see, in less than 5 seconds from now, I will reveal the killer to you.
What? Don't be absurd. This is murder. An in-cabin locked from inside.
Ah yes, the locked room. But that mystery is paper-thin.
You don't mean the culprit is in there?
Who are you, and where have you come from?
I'm a great British consultant detective, the only one in the world. Sherlock Holmes. I presume you must have heard of me.
I swear to goodness if I'm the one in there. It looked like, I need to re-familiarize myself with this, because it has been a long while since I did that first chapter. As much as I honestly did want to come back to this, I wanted to clear out some of the stuff that I had let built up, and then come back to it, rather than trying to overwhelm myself with 3 series at once. As for when I'll do this, I'm probably going to try to do it in a short amount of time, for at least chapter 2, before moving on, etc., etc., etc. Either way, I'm back to it, and I'm excited. This is always a great series. It's very fun. My throat's probably pretty sore at the moment, so my talking may be not ideal. My head is throbbing. What's going on? And I'm also trying to remember what the character names were. Like, I remember their personalities. I'm not good with names. Something's not right here. There's trouble in the air. So, I wonder, that opening little thing with, like, the text and the Like it was written like it was from a book. Is it like from one of the Sherlock Holmes books, I wonder? And is this like is this like a reinterpretation of one of the books? Perhaps. This looks post-murder. Wait. I can't move. What? Ah, what the? Why does this keep happening? Why am I in handcuffs? So you wake up now, Ah, the Russian guy. We'll have to drag you out of the wardrobe. I do not believe you could not wait. How you could not wake up. You are a true cold-blooded man. You? Haha, you found me then. Ah, we found you. And now you pay, criminal. How long are you hiding in that tiny wardrobe, Sorry? Now you have been found. It is time to admit your crimes. Unless you want to find out how cold the ocean is. Oh, no, I'll tell you everything. There's only one thing I'd like to know from... Oh, there's only one thing I'd like to know from you. Isn't that... Oh, hello. That's probably the wrong voice for you. Why did you do it? Why did you take his life? Miss Susato? Wait, what did you just say? Take his life? How does this keep happening? Where is he? Where's Kazuma? No, they wouldn't do that right away, would they? Ha! You pretend you don't know. You are wolf in the sheep's spout. You are the killer. Do not try to make excuses. What? Killer of who? I saw someone who looked like he was in the uniform. Kazuma-sama's body was discovered not long ago. Yeah, in this very cabin that was bolted shut from the inside. Really? Really? His body? Please. Do not try to tell us what you were doing this terrible thing in your sleep. Kazuma's dead? But he can't be. And these handcuffs. Surely you don't think I have to know. Why did you take Kazuma-sama's life? Answer me, please. No. Not again. Why? No, why does this keep happening? As is Ace Attorney tradition. The main characters get accused of murder constantly. Kazuma. It was just 2 short weeks ago. Has it only been 2 weeks? Are you sure about this? Won't we get in trouble? Don't you find it fun being a stowaway? Besides, how else would you come to England with me to study? It was really something else when you brought your luggage in here earlier, though. The way that Russian crewman just tossed your traveling case onto the floor. Thought I was going to die. Yes, I still can't quite believe that. I just went in his luggage? I really didn't think you'd be able to fit inside my trunk. You must be even less of a man than you look. Hey, honestly, I thought I'd broken every bone in my body. Well, it's about 50 days until we dock in Great Britain. But if you confine yourself to my cabin here, I don't expect anyone will discover you. I hope not. I get the feeling those Russians wouldn't be very forgiving of a stowaway. They're a sturdy bunch, that's for sure. What I want to know is, why do we need to keep it a secret from the young lady? From our faithful judicial assistant, Mikotoba, you mean? From your close friend, more to the point. Surely we could confide in her, couldn't we? I don't believe she'd give me away. No, but if she knew what we'd done, that would make her guilty by association. It's best that only you and I know about this. I suppose so. Okay, question. Did this plan for him to stow away start with Ryunosuke agreeing to it? Or did he wake up in the trunk one morning, being told by Kazuma, I have a plan! You can go with me when I study! Anyway, it's about time that the steward is supposed to come and clean the cabin. Oh, is this going to turn into something like Kazuma dies and then we eventually... Obviously, we'd have the trial and whatnot. We show up and we basically claim to be him and take his study stuff, his studying, in order to make use of it because we're there and it's like someone needs to do it because it's actually sort of important, like on a grander scale of things. He's not dead. They didn't show him. And then again, Susato, or whatever her name was, I don't think she'd be, like, not recognizing him. Anyway, it's about time that the steward is supposed to come and clean the cabin. I know it's cramped, but you'd better get in there, I think. It won't be for long. And anyway, compared to hiding inside my traveling case, it'll be a breeze. Yes, but what if the steward decides to open the wardrobe for some reason? Then I'll be in for it. Stop worrying. I tell you what. Why don't you write keep out or something on this piece of paper? What? Then I can stick it over the wardrobe doors once you're inside. I don't know. And then he passed out. We've only been at sea for about 15 days. How can this have happened already? I thought it would happen on like at least the 40th day. Okay, so are we gonna have like a trial at sea? We're not gonna be like sticking around here for the next 35 days, right? We were supposed to be going on this adventure to England together. We leave you at next spawn. Stay quiet until then. Don't make more trouble for yourself. Murderer. No, I'm not a murderer. Ah, you said before. You said you admit everything about your crimes. No, that's not right. I mean, yes, I did stow away on the ship, but murdering my best friend? No one else could have done it. Admit the truth. Susato-san. Please, tell me what happened. I need to know. Very well. But there is something I would like to ask of you too. Those eyes. She looks like she's ready to destroy me. This nightmare's getting worse by the minute. Why does this keep happening? I suppose all I can do is try to find out what really happened. Well, I want to see if she actually saw him. He really has been killed, hasn't he? This isn't just a bad dream. These handcuffs. They think I did it? They think I'm Cosmo's killer? When they found him, the cabin was locked from the inside. What do you mean? There's no access to the cabin via a porthole window, and the bolt on the door can't be operated from the outside. In other words, after the crime, the culprit couldn't have escaped these four walls. I mean, locked room mysteries are pretty classic, aren't they? There's a few obvious ways those can play out. Oh. Was it Danganronpa? It might have been Danganronpa where one of the characters just like laid out all the main ways locked room mysteries can be typically solved, or typically is the answer. Because the locked room doesn't literally, like, so one of them is that they're already in there, right? Which is what they're concluding for this. The other way is that there's another way out that people weren't aware of. The other way was be that they caused some sort of distraction that allowed them to, like, become part of the group that found the body or something like that. So they were in there, but they were able to disguise the fact that they joined the group, in a sense, right? I think those are the three main ways that I'm aware of. What? Or to put it another way, The culprit could only have been somebody inside this cabin. Or do you have some other explanation? This is impossible. How did he die then? What happened exactly? Are you still going to deny the charge? Even despite the circumstances? Please, Susato-san, you have to tell me. The cause of death is still undetermined. They don't know how he died. The ship's doctor is examining the body, but of course he has no post-mortem analysis experience. I don't suppose we shall learn more until an expert has been consulted at our next port of call. So presumably that means there were no obvious external signs of injury then. Okay, so that's another potential answer. So based on what we've seen already, it could be some semblance of poison that was introduced before he entered the room and locked it. Then again, the fact that he wrote something out in Russian presumably seems suspicious. Does he speak Russian? I have no previous knowledge of that being the case. I mean, he might, given the fact that he was setting out for international travel. That is perfectly a potential thing that he could have prepared himself to do. I know they said something about Ryunosuke not being good in English, and I think Kazuma's probably good at it. So that's probably the important one. Russian, though. That's true, yes. Okay. Can anybody tell me what actually happened here in this cabin? I don't understand it. Why would anyone want to kill Kazuma? Presumably that's something you know the answer to better than anyone. Please? Whatever you say, you're here in the cabin after all. Well, yes, I was, but... He would always wake before dawn and do his training first thing in the morning. I was waiting outside his cabin, as I have every day so far on this voyage. But this morning, he did not come. I could sense that he wouldn't. So, overnight? Does that mean he was already dead when Susato-san arrived at his cabin door, I wonder? I knocked, but there was no reply. Then I started to become worried, so I went to find a member of the crew. The crewman forced the cabin door open, where we managed to get inside. There was Kazuma, collapsed on the floor. I don't do Russian in the slightest. I gotta be honest, I didn't think Russian had very distinct... Does Russian have like a capital A, capital E, capital P? And a capital, I mean an O makes sense, it's just a fucking circle. I don't know all the Russian letters, but I see stuff that looks distinctly English in there, so I almost wonder if... It's ink, so someone probably wouldn't have been able to wipe it away unless it was... I guess it depends on the type of ink. Maybe you'd be able to wash that away if it was soon enough after. Then again, someone could also have taken his finger and done it too. Oh, let's say this too. So Sherlock Holmes there seemed to indicate that the tag on front of the wardrobe was a different handwriting than the one on the ground, right? Were we saying that Ryunosuke or Kazuma was the one who actually wrote that out? I suppose because the luggage there actually has like a, it has another thing that has stuff written on it. That might be a good way to tell that. And the white tape there now shows exactly where he was found, I suppose. I had no idea anything that had happened. I must have been asleep in the wardrobe somehow. I wish it wasn't the case, but that's just very hard to believe. This is all very hard to believe for me too, trust me. Now I've told you everything that I know, so it's my turn to ask you a question. Yes, alright. Oh, my head feels so heavy. It's still throbbing like anything. Okay. Why are you even on board this ship, Naruhodo-san? You said something before about being a stowaway, didn't you? Oh, yes, I'm afraid that's true. It's 2 weeks since we left Japan now, and I've been shut up in this cabin the entire time. I had no idea. But how could you have occupied Kazuma-sama's cabin for so long without him noticing? No, that would have been impossible, obviously. Yes, of course. Kazuma invited me. In fact, I woke up one day in a traveling case, and I was like, oh, okay, let's do that, I guess. He wanted us to go to England together. He actually asked you. Well, that's the question. He less asked and he more, decided. But why? Well, I'm afraid I don't really know the reason myself. I don't understand. Kazuma, why do you want this? What's the real reason? Why go to such extreme lengths to smuggle me to England with you? It's an idea that's been on my mind ever since the end of that incredible trial. I think I told you then, didn't I? That you ought to become a lawyer yourself. So, what we're saying is Ryunosuke agreed to all this before he even knew his reason, let alone what he'd be doing in England. Is he still in college? Is he, losing out on his education, too? Was this, super duper mega impulsive by him? Well, yes, you did say that. But I didn't think you were serious. You have a talent for it. I can assure you of that. But I've never really thought about becoming a lawyer. Well, that's something you can decide for yourself. London is at the spearhead of cultural development, the center of the world in many ways. There can't be any harm in seeing such an important place with your own eyes, can there? Well, no, definitely not. But on a personal level, if you were to become a lawyer, then what? Nothing. Forget it. He thinks good things would happen if he became a lawyer. More people, more justice would be properly served, more proper trials, that sort of, something like that, right? That he really believes in Ryunosuke, and potentially he believes more in Ryunosuke than he does himself, that sort of thing. For as important as his mission is, right, to go and try to collect knowledge and be one of the shepherds of Japan to a more judicially advanced age, that sort of thing, I'm inclined to think that he feels like, especially after he saw Ryunosuke, who he might have more confidence in than himself, he might think, well, I'm going to do it, but I'm going to make sure he comes along so he can also fulfill his potential. Because it would be very unfortunate if he didn't, and I feel like I wouldn't be doing as much as I could if I didn't allow him to do that in some capacity, right? That was my guess. Or that's going to be my guess. Kazuma-sama he's always saying the same thing. That he wants to change the Japanese legal system. Yeah. Perhaps he thought that he could do that with you. Yes, maybe. But something's still bothering me a little. The look in his eyes, then. Honestly, I think if it was a matter of just he thinks he could do it with you, would be I think he'd just say that. Which means that the reason he's not saying is probably on a personal level, right? Which goes back to my theory that it's more about him not having confidence in himself and him thinking that this friend who no one believes in, and it's like no one has any idea, feels like this guy could do better than me or something like that. I want to prop that up. It was darker than I've ever seen it before. Or maybe it makes him question his own ability to do it if he was the one who had to do it. Suzato-san, I'm sorry that we kept it a secret from you. My stowing away on the ship, I mean. If I know Kazuma-sama, I expect he was trying to protect me, to avoid me becoming guilty by association. That's exactly right, yes. Word perfect, in fact. If you're not the culprit, then tell me. What happened last night here in this cabin? Well, the thing is, I don't really remember. Kazuma brought me something to eat, just like he always did. And then I got myself into that wardrobe over there, just like I always did. And after that, I fell asleep. Well, yes. So deeply that you didn't even stir when Kazuma-sama was killed. Well, I suppose so, yes. I think that speaks more towards how he was killed than it does his, how deep his sleep was. Unless... Okay, so we have the fact that his death is not confirmed. The fact that I'm not entirely convinced that they're going to kill him here. I have a feeling this is going to be like some deep sleeping pill or something like that that's going to make him seem like he is dead. But he's not really dead. And something that maybe possibly also Ryunosuke got, but in a lesser... Oh, could that be something like that? It was a poison. But because they split their food, Ryunosuke maybe got less because, Kazuma, oh, you're small, you don't need as much food as me, and Ryunosuke would probably be like, yes, I suppose so, yes, I agree. Kazuma takes the bigger one and he's out for longer. And Ryunosuke takes a smaller portion of the food, all laced with the drug or poison or something else. But it's diluted enough by them not eating the full meal to the point where they, neither of them die. And Ryunosuke wakes up earlier because of his situation. Something like that? You think that makes sense? Oh, it could be something as simple as just Ryunosuke didn't want a specific type of food of it, but he only ate a little bit of it or something. I know it sounds unbelievable, really, I do, but it's the truth. If only I had woken up, then perhaps I wouldn't be in this predicament. And for some reason, my head's still throbbing like anything. Really? Is something wrong? Oh, no, it's... Please, forget it. No, say everything. I need as much information as possible. I do feel like I'm on the right track, though. Sasha-san, you have to believe me. I didn't do it. I really don't want to doubt you. But the trouble is, there's no one else who could possibly have done this. But you don't even know what happened. That's the problem here. Man, I want to talk to fucking Herlock Sholmes. Kazuma, I don't understand. Why? Why did this have to happen? I can't take this. I gotta be honest, I'd probably be suspecting Herlock Sholmes if I didn't know with some capacity that he's a major character in these games. I'd actually probably be suspecting he's the killer. Right now, my current guess as the killer is the one Russian sailor dude who had a weird face marks in the little opening cinematic there. Don't try to go anywhere. You're the perpetrator of this crime. You can't leave. I can't allow that to happen. I'm sorry. The Kazuma was killed right under my nose here. And I didn't do anything to stop it. And now I'm supposed to just sit around? My hands tied, while whoever did this walks free? No, I can't allow that to happen. Well, what do you propose to do then? I'm going to investigate. I'm going to find out exactly what happened here. I'm going to work out who took Kazuma's life, and how and why they did it. So I'm sorry, but you're going to have to excuse me. Oh, okay, that felt like a flip. Ow. What the hell? That was a Susato takedown. A Susato what now? What martial art form is that? I'm going to need you to prove it. Sorry. Prove it? Yes. Your innocence. I need evidence. But how am I supposed to? Have you forgotten already? What you achieved just a few weeks ago? You successfully defended yourself in the court of law? I see. She's expecting me to present some conclusive evidence. That I have? Evidence that I have. The paper seal? Okay. It wasn't broken. Okay, so, is that going to be our proof? The fact that it wasn't broken means that I couldn't have come out and killed him? I don't have a way to put it back on after the fact? I have to get Susato-san to believe me. I'll show her evidence. Boop. Remnants of glue. We used to stick this over the wardrobe doors. That wasn't proper glue, of course. We didn't have any of that with us. So I provided some rice and paste to use instead. Is that how glue is made? I've never, I suppose it just needs to be good enough, right? All it needs to be is an adhesive. So way about me, every single grain of rice represents precious rations. That's why I spread as thinly as possibly as I could. I couldn't bear to waste any. Okay, this is the important thing. So he wrote it. He wrote it, okay. Do you expect the Russian crew to be able to read that? He said. Still, I'm sure people would get the idea, even if they couldn't read it. So we used it anyway. And it worked, and I don't know if the crew thought it was creepy or what, but don't open the doors. Good. Well, okay. That's probably it, yeah? Tell me, when I was discovered in the wardrobe before, what was the piece of paper stuck over the doors? Oh, was this piece of paper stuck over the doors? Oh, yes, it was. I remember clearly. I thought so. Kazuma always put it in place whenever I went to sleep in there, just in case the cabin steward or another crew member decides to look inside. So naturally, he did the same last night as well. Yes, of course. The gentleman who discovered you peeled that sign from the wardrobe doors before he opened them. But if I were truly the culprit, I couldn't have climbed back inside the wardrobe and stuck this on the outside of the doors on my own. Yes, that's quite true. In other words, it's impossible that I killed Kazuma! Cool. Good. That's pretty conclusive, I think. If she trusts the situation on Kazuma, I'm not sure other people would trust that she might. Well, even if you are sprawled hopelessly on the floor, it's still upside down. I can see why Kazuma-sama thought so highly of you. Thank you, Susato-san. Now, do you think perhaps you could help me up? No. Get the fuck up yourself, man. Well, in the light of that evidence, I don't see any reason why I should stop you from investigating in here, at least. Thank you. So you finally believe me? I'm sorry. No. What? I'm not sure yet. I can't rule out the possibility that you use some sort of conjuring trick to put the sign back in position of what and what not? What does she think I am, a magician? Can you get Sherlock Holmes? I want to talk to him. I want to see if he's, like, suspicious, because it feels like the whole seal on top of it was a pretty notable thing he should have made note of, too. For now, I suggest you investigate as thoroughly as possible in here. I'll do the same. Alright, let's get to work, Susato-san. Please don't misunderstand me. I still have my doubts. Oh. I should be watching you to make sure you do nothing that might disturb the crime scene. I wouldn't want you using your conjuring tricks to destroy evidence, for example. Right. Ah, the 1800s. Where conjuring tricks were the norm. I suppose witch trials lasted till probably at least the 1700s, right? Well, anyway, I should start investigating, examine everything. Kazuma, I swear, I will avenge your death. You're also assuming he's dead? Sure, converse. Let's start. Nope. Okay, got all that. Move! I'm in handcuffs and under house arrest by the crew. Not to mention Susato-san's constant glares. I think it's fair to say that I'm stuck in this cabin, for the time being at least. I should focus on investigating here. Okay. Yeah. Present. Yeah! Oh, no. Wrong button. Susato-san, about this. I'm sorry, Naruhodo-san. I'm going to kill you, but we don't have time to waste on anything else. We must find clues. She looks serious. Really quite deadly serious. Yeah, okay. Examine indeed. Oh, hey, there, Mr. Sailor. Perhaps I should see what this Russian crewman makes of the scene of the crime. Excuse me. What? I was wondering how it was going. The investigation, I mean. Are you even trying? Grandmother told me Japanese people do not make jokes. But it is not true, I see. Sorry? The criminal asking investigator for information of his crime. Very funny. Oh, it wasn't supposed to be a joke? He doesn't appear to be laughing either. He's convinced you're guilty. He might have useful information, though. I have to keep trying. So, last night, did you notice anything out of the ordinary at all? Yeah, of course not. Now back to the corner of the room and make silent. I say no more to you. Did I hit a nerve? Oh, yeah, I mean, yeah, he did act a bit overzealous. Just for a minute there, he seemed like, he seemed a little flustered. Oh dear, that won't do. Oh, what's the matter, Suzato-san? Whenever I'm examining things, I always find myself so focused I forget to look around properly. Ah, yes, that's not good. And I suppose you're as foolish as me in that regard, are you, Naruhodo-san? Oh, okay. I'm sure you're careful to look at all things using the D-pad, aren't you? Now let's investigate all corners of the cabin. Okay. Yes, let's do that. I suppose my field of vision has been rather small until now. Is that a comment on the previous games? Oh, it keeps a check mark. That's nice. That's a nice quality of life thing. Say you. Japanese word for justice. The brushstrokes are straight and true, just like Kazuma. Yes, his calligraphy always was a reflection of his heart. Yet you. Can you really look at those characters without feeling shame, knowing what drew them so, who drew them so thoughtfully? Of course I can. I mean, I'm innocent, so why shouldn't I be able to? Even though you stowed away on this ship? Well... So what is justice for a stowaway? You know, justice is fine. I mean, my thought process is actually like breaking the law and whatnot. If you feel as though it's for a good cause, sure, do it. Just be ready to deal with the consequences. What's a stowaway's punishment? You could have a discussion of what fair consequences are. But still, break the law, deal with the consequences, that sort of thing. What are the consequences for that? It's not like freaking thrown off the ship and, you know, death sentence or something like that. Yeah, it might be actually. Well, I think about it, stowaways might be handled very, interestingly. Now you're going to bring that up, are you? Oh, I can't win. I don't think she trusts me. I don't think she does. That's Kazuma-sama's precious sword. He never went anywhere without it. Yes, he was always saying that a Japanese man's katana is his soul. I believe that he had to work very hard to convince the government to allow him to bring it on this trip. I suppose that shows just how important it was to him. Now he's gone. But I'm not ready to let his spirit go just yet. I'm very curious about what the fuck this is. Is that like a... That's your... What is it? A roast chicken. Is that what a roast chicken looks like after it's been eaten? Roast chicken. It was really tasty. Yes, it was very delicious, wasn't it? But... Did you eat it on the floor, yeah? I'm not a dog, Suzato-san. I ate it at the table, of course. Which begs the question of when and how the plate ended up on the floor. Did Kazuma also eat it? But Kazuma-sama didn't like chicken at all, did he? No, that's right. So he didn't touch it. Which means all the more for me. Oh no! Does that mean... Poor Kazuma spent his last night on this earth with an empty belly? It's just too horrible. How dare you, Ryunosuke? Now I just suddenly have a guilty conscience and an achy stomach. Wait, did he actually not eat anything? Okay, that throws out one of my theories. At least one element of my theory. There's nothing on this table at all. The plates and cutlery are all over the floor for some reason. That does seem to indicate some semblance of a sign of struggle, right? All the books being tipped over. Then again, maybe that's a normal thing on a ship for like the books to be tipped over. Last night when I went to sleep, I was sure everything was still. No, wait a minute. What is it? That's funny. I can't seem to remember anything about what happened after dinner at all. So then perhaps you are responsible for what happened to Kazuma-sama and then just forgot it. No. Oh boy. These are the rules of passage to travel aboard the SS Beria. It's essentially a list of requests from the captain to all passengers on board. Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabins. Pets are also strictly forbidden. You know, like the katana. Both a weapon and a pet, interestingly. What? Why are you staring at me? Oh, sorry. I was just thinking. Are you more of a dangerous object or a pet? A pet, definitely. I can't decide. Well, one thing's for sure. Either way, I wasn't supposed to be in here. The books have fallen over on the shelf. Look, they've all toppled the same way. What's this? A statue of some god of the sea? Although he's fallen over as well, but that looks tall enough that it probably would not be. Like, it wouldn't fit, it looks like. Unless that goes up taller on the top shelf. Yes, it's almost as if the whole shelf has been ransacked and everything mown down at once. Ryunosuke, do you remember if there's like a bunch more books in there previously? I wonder if... Perhaps it was Kazuma-sama doing his morning sword training, do you think? I seriously doubt it. Then perhaps... It was you, Naruhodo-san, in a fit of rage. I would have bothered leaving the wardrobe just to mess up a few books and a statue. Could the way these things have been thrown about have anything to do with the case, I wonder? So the fact that things have been thrown about seems to indicate a sign of a struggle, right? So... Well, I'll just set everything straight again. I don't like to see a mess. Wait, no, don't. Don't. Well, it looks like there'd be a lot missing. Is that the point we're trying to make by setting those straight again? No, I'm curious about this. This seems notable. That's a very large traveling case, isn't it? Well, he's going over there for years, isn't he? Like, literally, like, 2-3 months in order to even get there. Yes, it carries a lot of memories for me. Memories? What do you mean? Well, that's actually how I stowed away on this vessel. I was brought on board inside that case. Yes, I see it says this way up in Japanese. Which in hindsight, I should have realized the foreign crewmen wouldn't be able to read it. I was turned over and over and over. Then I was tossed on the floor in here. Oh dear, being a stowaway isn't as romantic as it sounds. Well, it was less painful than a Suzasu takedown at least. Oh, we're not going to talk about that potentially. No. This is where dear Kazuma-sama would have sat whenever he was writing. London Diary. Poor Kazuma. He didn't even make it to his destination. It looks as though his last entry is incomplete. Midway through, maybe. Which means what? He was in the middle of writing it when the incident happened. Let's see what it says. Could be a valuable clue. Hiya! What? No! I'm allowed to read? That's out of the question. What? Kazuma-sama may have departed this world, but you must not read his private thoughts. But what if it's something important? Something relevant to the case? Alright, I won't read it. I'm gonna read it when she's not here. Poor Kazuma-sama. I don't like prying into other people's personal matters either, but in this case, isn't the need for clues more important? Unless you've already assumed you know the victim or the criminal. I remember. Anything else? Oh yeah, the actual murder. Right, the actual murder. Did Kazuma write that boy died? Looks like it's written in ink. He must have knocked the ink pot from the desk when he collapsed on the floor. Okay. Anyone know that? Anyone know what that allegedly says? And then he wrote the message. No doubt he was in terrible pain. It's almost unbearable to imagine it. So he was trying to leave some kind of clue in his final moments, was he? I'm sorry, partner, but I can't read your writing. I don't think that's Japanese, Naruto-san. What? Then, what language is it? It pains me to admit it, but I don't know. Sholmes said Russian when he was in here before. Were you not listening? It's not a foreign script I'm familiar with. What does it mean, I wonder? Well, the Russian... The Russians should be able to... So this is definitely interesting. A broken piece of glassware. Whatever the thing was, it appears to have broken clean in two. Where's the other half then? The glass is such a beautiful color. It looks like a cute little Nesuke fastener from a kimono outfit. I'm not sure that sounds like Kazuma. He wouldn't have secretly carried a cute little trinket like this around with him, would he? Well, he might have if, like, say, Susato gave it to him. But if she's not aware of that, then probably not, yeah? The mark beside it, what is it, I wonder? It has a sort of brick-like hue, almost like blood! Yes, you're right. It is the color of a brick, right, isn't it? Almost like it's dried blood! Even though I don't see anything else of this, of the same color anywhere else in the cabin. Okay. I think that covers most stuff. When I went for help and the crewman forced the door open, the boat had been firmly closed. It's quite a small boat and not particularly sturdy, and it just slides across to secure the door shut. Oh, what if someone conjured the door and the bolt shut? Yeah. Oh, is that going to be the answer? For the same reason the books went over, it just slid shut. And so we got fucking lucky. They killed him, and they got lucky after they exited that everything shifted because of the ship, like, shaking. Oh, let's ask about that if we can. But still, with the door bolted, there would be no way to get in or out of the cabin, that's for sure. It's no wonder everyone suspects me. When she glares at me like that, I feel tense all up and down my spine. I remember reading once in a detective novel, the culprit used a needle and a thread to draw a bolt from across the outside of the room in a situation like this. Yes, that's a clever trick, isn't it? I'm an avid reader of detective stories myself. But the door of this cabin and its frame are made of metal, and they seal together perfectly. Okay. There would be no possibility of using a needle and thread trick here, I'm afraid. What if they conjured it closed? Can I say that? Please say that. When she glares at me like that, I feel pins needle up and down my spine. It's 2 weeks since we set sail from Japan. Have you really been living in that wardrobe the entire time, Naruto-san? Well, I don't think I was, like, living in there unless we thought someone was going to come to the room. I think living isn't quite the right description. Oh, no, I suppose not. Although it must have been rather exciting, making this voyage in your own secret hideout. The trouble was I never knew when a member of the crew might come in. So yes, I did basically have to live in the wardrobe. And last night was no exception. But because of that, you had no idea what was happening out here in the cabin. No, sadly not. Man, imagine spending like 2-3 months. Fucking. I guess more 2 months. Imagine 2 months living in a fucking wardrobe. Oh, it's not even under stairs. Where an owl might show up. Oh, there's a fucking vent up there. This, yes, it's a bell cord contraption, I think. What do you mean, contraption? I read about it in a book when I was studying. That talks about life in Great Britain. Large households often have bell cords like this, that you can pull to ring a bell to summon servants. Really? That sounds almost magical. Shall we give it a little try? Yes! In the interest of cultural research, obviously. See if someone shows up. And no. I suppose no one comes for lowly Japanese people. No, I'm sure it's just that everyone is busy. That's all. Is this a feature of the room? So I assume it's basically a system that has a bell on this side in order to give feedback, but also has a bell on another side in order to give feedback. And then they have a servant's quarter that will eventually... Maybe someone will show up eventually, maybe. I think that's some kind of opening for a ventilator. A hole through which fresh air can circulate in the cabin. Isn't that a little odd? What do you mean? Well, this ventilator, if that's what it is, looks like it must connect to the next door cabin. Yes, that would it would appear to. Yeah, you're right. But if its purpose is to allow fresh air into the room, surely it should be connected to the outside. That's true. Perhaps it's so that rain spray doesn't find their way in when the seas are rough, or something like that. I suppose. Maybe that's it. Who's that? He wasn't there a minute ago, nor did the door open. As far as I can tell, it looks like he might be European. Oh, how did he... You've noticed that man too, have you? I have no idea who he is or how he got in here, but he looks suspicious and tall. Suspiciously tall. He wouldn't fit in that traveling case, would he? He wouldn't fit in the wardrobe, would he? No, Hoda-san, don't tell me. Do you really not know who that is? None of you knew who that was in the opening cutscene. Don't be like that with me. Well, no. I don't have any foreign friends or acquaintances at all. He doesn't look like a member of the crew. There's something very unusual about him. And he is invested in Kazuma's dad's score. Or is he just playing on it? I can't tell. Well, in that case, we simply must talk with him. Am I just imagining it, or does Susato-san look almost uncontrollably excited? So would this be a time frame where Sherlock Holmes would have had books written about him? Is that the concept behind him? That he was a contemporary detective at the time of release of the novels? Like he would have been alive at that time, conceptually? Or was it more historical? By the way, I expect you've noticed already, but just in case, if you press A on people when they're in the crosshairs, you can converse with them. Alright then, I'll get that suspiciously tall gentleman in my sights and see what he has to say for himself. Oh, please do. Okay. I wonder how long he'll stay there. Staring at wood. And probably breaking the desk due to his weight on it. Excuse me. Excuse me, do you have a moment? Shh. This is a critical point in my investigation. I have no idea what voice to give him. Maybe I should leave him alone. He seems a little unfriendly. Yes, perhaps that would be for the best. No, he's not. There he is. Greetings! I hope I haven't kept you long. What exactly were you doing on Casa Mustache just now? I see. Fascinating. Sorry? What do you see? I feel like he's looking right through me. Oh, yes. Everything is clear now. The train of reasoning has run its course. My deductions have crystallized. You have been in Afghanistan, I perceive. Just recently returned, if I'm not mistaken. Sorry? What? Oh, is he going to be horrible at his job? And now, whilst venturing in towards foreign climes, you find yourself in a most troubling predicament. Oh, well, that's true at least. But how? How the deuce did I know that, perhaps? No, but we're not going to correct him about the Afghanistan thing? It was really a most elementary deduction, hardly worth explaining. Have you perhaps managed to deduce anything else? Oh, but of course, a great many things. There is no mystery, my dear madame. For example, you have fled your native land of Russia, being as you are a merciless revolutionary. Is Russia at, like, revolutionary times yet? Huh? You leave 16 victims of assassination in your wake and now travel to England to blow up the Crystal Tower. Hey, Final Fantasy XIV. Is there a Crystal Tower in England? I'm guessing there is. And when the bare-ribboned occupants of this very cabin discover your identity, you ended his life too. Yes, I believe that summarizes the facts beautifully. No need to hide the truth now. Nothing deceives these eyes. Just to be clear, you are talking about me, are you? Certainly I am. Do you see another in this cabin who fits the bill? A Russian assassin with 16 victims to his name? I didn't even see one person who fits that bill. Oh, maybe it's the other guy, the sailor. So it's true. It was you who did this to Kazuma-sama. Oh my god. Oh no. What? And you're plotting a revolution too? Of Russia? Why? Would I? It's shameful behavior now, Horo-san. Absolutely wicked. No. Listen, there's no way no. Third time's a charm. Now explain yourself. Tell me everything. This is ridiculous. That is how I died. That almost feels like an appropriate place to end the episode. How could you do it? For pity's sake, open your eyes. I'm not a Russian revolutionary. Obviously. Oh, forgive me. And as for you, what kind of deduction was that? You were just saying the first thing that came into your head. But was I not right? Once venturing towards foreign climes, you do find yourself in a most troubling predicament. Do you not? Well, yes, maybe. There you have it, you see. What do you make of that? Well, to be honest, I would be surprised if you were not aware of that. The ship's en route to England. I'm in the handcuffs at the scene of the murder. So, I'm not really sure you could call it deduction. It's more plain observation. Indeed, an observation, my dear boy, is the basis of all deduction. My method is founded upon the observation of trifles. You see, I announce my findings with a brassy certitude. And more often than not, I'm right. I don't think you've introduced yourself. Ah, my apologies. How remiss of me. I am none other than the greatest detective of the century, known to men and women the world over. the inimitable Sherlock Holmes. So, it's really you, the actual Sherlock Holmes? The very same. The imitable, actual Sherlock Holmes. For copyright reasons. I am the actual real Sherlock Holmes. Not the actual real Sherlock Holmes, but the actual real. It'd be funny if they actually played that into the plot. Like, it's not Sherlock Holmes, it's Sherlock Holmes. The, like, off-brand Sherlock Holmes. And he's just, like, sort of shitty at what he does. But he's all we got, so we gotta trust him. Do you know this man, Susato-san? The most famous detective in the world? Naruto-san, of course I do. There's nobody who hasn't heard of him. Do you know of him, or do you know of him because he said you should know of him? What planets have I been living on, then? We must ask him what he's deduced. He'll have worked out the entire case already, I'm sure. Really? Why do I feel uneasy about this? Oh boy. No, I'm gonna present all this to him. Mr. Sholmes, what do you make of this? Shh, quiet. When I'm ruminating in the course of my deductions, nothing must disturb my mind. Oh, so sorry. Oh. In the inquiry, perhaps? What's he ruminating about? The lunch menu? Da-da-da. I've never seen anything like this. Most extraordinary writing. You were the one who tore it off! What? You said the same earlier this morning, I think. Indeed. But its uncommonness is so remarkable, I felt the need to say it anew. Yes, I do believe. These characters may be a crude attempt at a Japanese script. God damn it. What? Mr. Naruto, I don't like to be the one to tell you this, but I think Mr. Sholmes is trying to say that your handwriting is a little untidy. Is he making fun of me? Oh my. Great detective. So, you're a great detective, are you? Sorry, what was your name again? Indeed, I am none other. I'm none other than the one and only Sherlock Holmes. Oh, I see you're German? Sherlock, was it? No, I have no her. I have hair. Please call me Sholmes. You can read all about my exploits in this exciting London publication. Oh yes, Rand's magazine, full of wonderful short stories and interesting articles from Great Britain. So have you actually read the shit? I never miss an issue. I have it sent from England especially. Do you actually, or are you just going along? Because I don't know which way you're leaning on this at the moment. Yes, here it is. The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. So you're the protagonist in a series of short stories? Indeed I am. I know you've read so many of your own stories, you start to think you really are a detective. Make no mistake, I'm not the poor deluded fellow you take me for. Oh my goodness, what if it's someone who, like someone thought of the name Sherlock Holmes and decides to, like, start writing stories about it. And then someone else out there just happened to have that name and thought, this is me now. This is my identity. Whatever I had before, throw it away. This is me now. Oh, that would be a fun twist. Make no mistake, I'm not the poor deluded fellow you take me for. Your inference is backward. Backward? My trusty biographer records my greatest detecting achievements and chronicles them in the magazine. You have a biographer, do you? Doesn't everyone? Mine goes by the name of Dr. Wilson. Presently keeping shop in London. I thought he was dead. Dr. Wilson? Also, you're coming from Japan to England. What were you in Japan for? I must say, thanks to the publication, I've been fantastically busy as of late. Why, this very moment, I'm returning from Asia, having solved the mystery of a cursed royal crown. Really? I can't work out whether I should take this man seriously or not. Deduction, you see, is to me a science. Logical reasoning in its purest form. A science? Really? The astute observer notices even the most subtle reactions in a subject. Is that why you're so over the top, so no one misses your reactions? Because you don't think anyone else could? A furtive glance, a twitch of a muscle, a slight inclination of the posture. Fingernails onto these furs and the skin of the things are data. Right. And the trained magician makes deductions from this data in the blink of an eye. The ultimate conclusion is, without fail, the truth. As I demonstrated only a few short moments ago. How can you look me in the eye and claim that? So you see, I have a turn both for observation and for deduction and fame. That is what makes me the one and only hair. That's what they're going for. That was the joke. Okay. Herlock Sholmes. Got it. Have you managed to deduce anything from this about this particular case yet? Have I managed to deduce anything, my dear fellow? Who do you suppose discovered the culprit in his most cunning hiding place? That's right. It was none other than the great detective before you now, Mr. Herlock Sholmes. Ah, in other words, I'm in these now because of him. I fucking love how how they're playing with the Sherlock Holmes concept. That's actually really fun. Like how he's completely untrustworthy. When I became anxious about Kazuma-sama this morning, I summoned all the crew members to force the cabin door open. And I concealed myself among the number, gaining entry to the scene of the crime. Yes, luckily for everyone, the great detective Herlock Sholmes was on board. And the handcuffs seemed to be an excellent fit, Mr. Naruhodo-san. The very moment I laid eyes on the scene, two facts were immediately apparent to me. Oh, really? Two facts, you say? No, your deduction just now. Can we talk about your deduction before? The things you concluded about me, I mean. The now famously accurate, troubling predicament you find yourself in? Actually, it was the other details that I was more hoping to discuss. You know, the merciless Russian revolutionary and assassin of 16 part. What about the Afghanistan part? That's not... Is that part of Russia at this point? I wouldn't think so. Yes, the more sordid details. It was a very commonplace deduction. Here we have this morning paper. The main headline reads... Revolutionary villain Bolshevik flees Russia via Shanghai. This vessel made a port call at Shanghai yesterday, and last night the young Russian was murdered. You know, this is actually a very interesting discussion. Maybe he's completely and utterly right. He just is putting it on me when it's someone else that's to blame. This vessel made a port call at Shanghai yesterday, and last night a young Russian was murdered. A young Russian? Oh, so you're just assuming he's Russian. Since when was Kazuma a Russian? It sounds like Mr. Sholmes has concluded that he was Russian because of what Kazuma-sama wrote on the floor. Oh, it was a simple act of reasoning that the culprit of this crime was the same merciless revolutionary. One who would kill the very man who helped him to escape after his true identity was discovered. Yes, you, villain Bolshevik. No, how could it be me? I don't look anything like this man. Just look at his face. Well, you are a fearsome revolutionary after all. Therefore, you have no doubt learnt to revolutionize your appearance as well. Please. How did I change race? And I might add, your name does not appear to be on the ship's passenger list. Need I say more? Well, that's because I'm a stowaway. What about the other details? The 16 victims of assassination and blowing up the Crystal Tower? Ah yes, the journalist clearly interviewed the man and printed all those particulars in the article. The deeds of the man perpetrated his fall, and thus he's plotting. Yes, everything about this revolutionary Bolshevik was included. There could be no mistake. Yes, okay, so you took one article someone wrote and concluded all those things were true. Got it. Got it. This does seem significant. If this doesn't come up in this case, like he's actually on the ship, just someone else, I feel like that's probably going to be relevant later. Like someone's actually going to try to like blow up the Crystal Tower, whatever that is. Do revolutionaries really agree to interviews for newspapers? And what about the part where you said I was returning from Afghanistan? I guess not that I'm from Afghanistan, that I was there recently. Okay, I remember that incorrectly. Also quite clearly here, stated here in the article. Bolshevik has recently returned after a period of subversive activities in the war-torn region of Afghanistan. Well, even is it anyway? This Afghanistan place. Yeah, take the paper for yourself. There's a little memento of this great deduction. Oh, thank you. I've absorbed all of that is of interest to me within its pages, but I see no rubbish bin nearby. So on the rubbish bin, got it. And you may find the article on the back page of interest as well. On the back. Cast your eye over it sometime if the interest takes you. They may need someone to interpret. It's all written in Russian. I couldn't hope to read it. But I suppose it wouldn't hurt just to glance at the article. Maybe there might be a picture or two. Got it. I will do that literally this second. Is that the Queen or something? Interesting. Have we found something relevant now, Hosan? No, I mean, it looks like it might be interesting. So who do we think it is? I mean, it looks like it has a crown. Perhaps it's about a beautiful young Russian princess, do you think? She is very pretty, isn't she? I suppose you enjoy articles like this, do you? I don't know. I can't make any sense of it. I'm glad you noticed this article. Allow me to give you a short summary of its contents. Oh, thank you. It pops up everywhere, this Mr. Sholmes, despite him being literally right in front of us. It's about the disappearance of a young lady last night. Last night? You mean like a while ago? How long ago were we in port? Renowned prima ballerina of the Novovich Ballet disappears from Shanghai. Oh, interesting. So it's just a tiara, it's not a crown in any capacity. Okay. During a performance in Shanghai, a famous dancer was reported missing. She is, of course, the talented young Nikolina Pavlova. Why are Russian names so hard to remember? I don't know, man. It would appear the woman was in costume when she was found to be missing from her dressing room. Wearing the diamond tiara you see pictured, which is worth some 20,000 rubles. Oh, how much is 20,000 rubles? I have no idea, but I'm quite sure it must be an unbelievable sum of money. Sada-san's eyes are shining like diamonds themselves. The tiara is the property of Novovich Ballet. It would seem the director is beside herself with worry. Not by the... Okay, whatever. Yes, I'm not surprised. The company is most anxious to recover both Miss Pavlova and the valuable tiara. They've requested international assistance at all ports sailing in Great Britain. Could this be another case of a Russian fleeing his or her country? It does seem to be the Russian thing to do. Maybe they're Russian out of there. I'm not even going to dignify that with a response, Mr. Naruto-san. No, I wouldn't. Got it. Got it. Understood. Hello. Okay, what were your two facts? We're sort of really far away from that now. Mr. Sholmes, tell us, please. What two facts were apparent when you came into this cabin this morning? Yes, but first, let us be precise. The two facts in question were immediately apparent to me. Yes, I understand, but what were they? Allow me to elucidate. The two facts I deduced from a mere momentary glance at the scene of the crime were as follows. Number 1. The cabin was locked from within, rendering escape of the culprit out of the question. Number 2. The victim was a Russian and killed following a dispute with an acquaintance. Wait, why acquaintance? Hold on, Mr. Sholmes, what makes you think the victim was Russian? Observe the dying message left by the victim on the floor. Okay, he doesn't have to be Russian because of that, right? He is an international person. Like, he's meant to be internationally studying. He might know the language. He expressed in our flashbacks a worry about stuff being in Japanese. And then people not being able to understand, right? Then again, if he knew how to speak, if he knew how to write Russian at the very least, you think he would have helped Naruhodo with his Japanese little seal there, right? If you thought that was a concern. So I'm gonna guess he doesn't know how to write it. Observe the dying message left by the victim on the floor. No. That is Russian word for wardrobe. Oh, interesting. Do you really think Kazuma-sama could have left a dying message in Russian? God, if he meant go up the wardrobe into the vent, that would be really fucking. In the final moments, many find the native tongue filling their head for this young man Russian. Maybe he just wanted them to find Ryunosuke so to make sure he didn't fucking die, just locked in there or something like that. Then again, he could probably have hopefully opened this paper seal, right? Kazuma was Russian, was he? Initially, I considered Garderobe may be the name of a killer. A certain Robert Guard, perhaps. But in the interest of thoroughness, I decided it would be wrong not to look inside the wardrobe there, at least. Where you found Mr. Naruhodo sleeping soundly. Quite so, I found you, the renowned Russian revolutionary killer who just had a different name than what you said it was. Why is it that I'm Russian too? I observed that you were wearing the same attire as the victim. In other words, you were acquainted. And if my memory serves, that outfit is the traditional dress of the Russian people. Your memory does not serve. Our school uniforms are the traditional dress of the Russian people? I had no idea. And I had no idea a detective could get something so wrong. I took a photograph of the victim in the message, that I might analyze it for possible hidden details. Interesting. Well, thank you. You have a fast-acting camera for this age. It was taken immediately after the young man was discovered, before the body was removed. Yes, Kazuma had already been taken away when I woke up. This is the first time I've actually seen him like this. Are you alright, Mr. Naruhodo? Oh, yes, thank you. The photograph of the crime scene has been entered into the court record. I think she's believing me at this point. Due to a look of sincerity, as I probably got really sad when I saw it. Can I ask you something? What, pray? You mentioned Russia before as well, didn't you? You know, when you said that I was a fearsome revolutionary fleeing from Russia and all that? Yes. The train of reasoning that led me to the truth. Would you mind explaining the train of reasoning to me, do you think? Not even gonna try. Certainly, if it interests you. How many times? I'm not Russian, and I don't speak Russian. Is he speaking English or Japanese at the moment? I would like that clarified. Oh, we didn't have that updated? Alright. Oh, I suppose we moved over to the other. The one about... Okay. the train of reasoning, that probably was the third one. Got it. Before we started talking, you examined Kazuma's desk, weren't you? Kazuma? Oh, yes, the victim. A very Russian name. Did you notice anything useful? Anything at all? I don't know why we're holding off on the Russian thing so long. Observe for a moment the desktop of the victim. Yeah? Things knocked over. The book is leaning towards the side, but that naturally where you put it in. If everything's shifted so very immensely significantly that, like, the books fell over, stuff fell off the table, and, like, the thing on... I'm blanking on the word. The thing on top of the table shifted to the point where it was falling off, the books shifted over, and even the bolt came undone. You think things on the desk would be a lot more disheveled? Outside of just like one or two things falling over, I mean. We see that the victim was engaged in penning some text. London diary. Kazuma was keeping notes of the trip. But I don't think you should read his private writings. It could upset people. Tragic. And something you ought to perhaps elucidate before the act of reading. You mean you've read it already? It is my business to know what other people do not. Yes, believe it or not, I know a smattering of Japanese. Is it what we're speaking right now? I think I'd like to know. Oh, I see. Well, you're about to know what Susato takedown is. No, she respects him too much. Susato-san, are you going to throw the detective with one of your trademark takedowns? I'm sorry, Naruto-san. What on earth do you mean? God damn it! Life is so unfair. Anyway, to return to the matter at hand, namely, this diary belonging to the victim. It would appear the final sentence is incomplete, as if the author were cut short. Tell me, what is the nature of the writing? Pray, be precise as to details. Oh, but I thought you knew Japanese. A smattering, dear boy, a smattering. Sayonara, bonsai, mikado. Naru. I trust you're suitably impressed. But this diary is littered with complicated-looking characters for which I can read precisely none, because Japanese has a weird disconnect between its writing and its, like, spoken word. So knowing a smattering of spoken Japanese is probably going to help you absolutely none in reading it, right? So, what was all that showing off about before then? If you'd be so kind as to show me, I would be happy to read it to you, Mr. Sholmes. Oh my goodness, you! I'm much obliged, my dear madame. The final entry here in Kazuma-sama's diary consists of just two short sentences. The first reads, 1:23 a.m. I can hear a faint whistling sound. A whistling sound? These are very deep waters. Pray, go on. The second sentence reads, 1:35 a.m. What looks like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill. Speckled band? What on earth does that mean? Yeah, that's a good question. There's a lot of things that can mean. I guess we'll see when we meet the other people. I have no idea. I've never heard that expression before. The ventilator grill, you say? The man was presumably referring... Yeah? To the lattice there on the wall, which connects to the adjoining cabin. Yeah, I'm not worried about that. I get that. What do you mean speckled band? There's lots of things that can mean. That's a very vague description. Okay. So, I believe I've given you enough to consider for the time being, at least. Do you have somewhere to go? As it happens, the victim's writings in his diary have piqued my interest. The matter warrants further investigation, I believe. And if I'm still too long, the seasickness takes hold. Oh, I suppose. You're thinking of investigating the cabin next door, which the ventilator connects to. Great detectives are a curious breed. Our mind rebels at stagnation. We crave mental exaltation. So yes, I intend to investigate. Hence the truth will become clear soon enough. Do you think that perhaps that we could go with you? No, that would be somewhat complicated. What? But why? A simple glance at your wrist should reveal the answer. Could Susato go with you? Oh, please. Can we correct the Russian thing? Or does that have to happen in the courtroom? After all, you're the prime suspect in this matter, no? There's no point in trying to turn it into a question. You're the one who decided I was the culprit in the first place. Whatever do you mean? I have no recollection of naming you as the culprit at any point. I do. Didn't you, like, say you're gonna show the murder in seconds, then open it and show to him? How did that initial cutscene play out? You must be joking! You just said it only a moment ago! Dear me, you are clearly misguided. I would have no cause to say such a thing. Well, actually, Mr. Sholmes, I did hear you say that too. You're quite sure? Well, that's very strange. I wouldn't have said you had the face of a criminal, you know. Not really. So what? Were you looking at my knees before? Some great detective you are. Well, anyway, that was then and this is now. What do you mean? What I mean, sir, is this. If you are the culprit, then you must play the part more convincingly. Roll over and accept your fate. Now he's just being plain rude. Okay. And off he goes, having just laughed in my face. His sense of humor is as twisted as his name. Herlock Sholmes. Now, Hoda-san, what are you just standing there for? I must go investigate the cabin next door as well. Wait, am I able to get out? Aren't you forgetting something? What about these? There's no way I can... Oh my goodness. To get me out of the... Oh my goodness. After Customer Sama spent his dying moments struggling to leave us a clue, you're willing to give up? You're just going to roll over and accept your fate? As if you gave me any joys in the rolling over part. Ugh. Okay. I think we still have some investigation to finish off in here first, don't we? Let's carry on with examining what we can in this cabin while we wait for the chance to slip next door. Okay. So the one thing, situation doesn't look good for me. There are still things I can do to help myself, right? And I owe it to Kazuma to do everything I can to find a way out of this. And bring the real culprit to justice! Oh! Is that another person? Something wrong, Naruhodo-san? Oh no, it's just that crewman standing by the door. I can't help but feel like I've seen him before. The new one? Oh yes, you're right. He does look familiar. Excuse me, sir. Yes, what can I do for you? Is it English? Oh god, okay, no, I recognize him now. Hello. I recognize that face, but it can't be. I did not think he'd show up again. It is! I didn't know you were here, Inspector Hosonaga. That is not the outfit to be wiping your blood off with the sleeve. Hello again. What are you doing here? I think that should be my line. I was so stunned when I saw you. My heart stopped. And it stopped. Oh, I hope. I received some special orders to go undercover as a member of the crew on board this ship. Again? You certainly seem to enjoy undercover work, Inspector. If there's anything I can do to help you, please ask. I never expected to see this man on board. But perhaps his presence can help me out of this hopeless situation. Okay. Let's present a few things to him. I'm very curious if he knows anything about this. I'll show you this newspaper. I can't read Russian very well. Oh, no, that's alright. I know what it says. He's gonna be suspicious that I... So you just wanted to point out your university-level linguistic talents. Is that it? Sorry? Nothing like me. With my regular schooling, you're something much greater. Is that what you're trying to say? Sorry. Forget I mentioned it. No! This is important. Why are you here? Are you after this Russian guy? If they got, like... That's what I'm first thinking. That he's here to be the Japanese help try to track down the Russian guy, right? Can I show you this newspaper, Inspector? Oh my god. Show him the diary. Just before he died, Kazuma wrote something rather strange in his diary. The whistling part seems notable. It might be nothing. Wrote, it looks like some kind of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill. Is it the tiara? That could be a speckled band, I suppose. Speckled band, that is strange. Like, there's a vague enough description that it could be a lot of things. But all the things we've been introduced to. Yes, we're still trying to work out what he meant by that, but what I'd like to know is... Don't tell me. The ventilator, is it... Very astute, Inspector. That ventilator clearly joins the next door cabin. That's right. So if we can investigate in there, we might be able to work out what the speckled band was. Alright then. I can't leave this cabin at the moment. I'm stuck here until we arrive at the next point. Kevin is giving me strict orders to guard the scene of the crime, you see? I have to entrust the investigation to you. Really? Okay. Okay. Yes. As long as you don't leave the first-class cabin area, I'm afraid. I can't remove those handcuffs, though. But what about the captain? I'm going against his direct orders? I'm a man of my word. And I promise you that I'll lay my life on the line if that's what it takes to convince the captain. After all, I failed to keep Hazuki-san safe. This is the least I can do. Is that why you're here? To keep him safe? Because of the diplomatic nature, a little diplomatic nature of this situation. Seize the moment. Okay. Select move and we can leave this cabin at last move. Alright. Yeah. So we can now conclude that people do experience this world. Yeah. What is your special orders? I was hoping to pry it out of you with evidence, but... And why are you dressed as a member of the crew? I'm so sorry. This is all my fault. I take full responsibility. For what? My orders were to act as Asuki-san's bodyguard. Okay, there we go. I should have asked this first. It was the Minister of Justice, Jingoku, who pushed for this overseas study tour to go ahead. And he entrusted me with ensuring that Asuki-san reached Great Britain without being assassinated. Oh, you think that's... Assassinated? How could that even have been a possibility? I'm not sure. But these are complicated times. There are tensions between the world's greatest powers. Minister Jingoku said that we should be prepared for all eventualities. This is incredible. I don't believe it. Kazuma-sama was assassinated by Naruhodo-san? Da. Obviously, we couldn't give Asuki-san a visible security escort. Which is why I am undercover now, posing as one of the crew. I see. And I didn't take my eyes off him the entire time we've been on board. From morning until night, every day. But I never imagined what would have happened here, inside his own cabin. Not here on the first-class deck. Does look like a nice room. Yes, I failed miserably at my assignment, and Asuki-san is dead as a result. I still don't feel like that's gonna hold. It still doesn't feel like something that will stick around. I mean, I'll be impressed if they actually go through with that, to introduce a significant character and just kill them off real quickly. Inspector. Because I never would have expected them to. I suppose they have killed off people in the second trial, like significant characters in the second trial before. In the series. But at the same time, they've kept being relevant, like, really... Like, because of the whole spirit medium stuff, they kept coming back to, like, say stuff and help. So if there's anything at all that I can do to help now, just say the word. For like, as over the top this can be, this feels a bit more grounded than the original series, given the whole, like, spirit medium stuff that was prominent in that. It's actually one of the reasons I quite like Apollo Justice, where it had its own, like, quirks, but it felt a bit more grounded. Getting away from all that spirit medium stuff. Because, like, that stuff was okay, but it really was, I think, one of the weaker parts of the series. Can't leave at the moment, so until we arrive at the port. It's giving me strict orders to guard the scene of the crime. You see. Okay, I have an interesting investigation to you. Got it. Really, you willing to do that? Yes. As long as you don't leave the first class. Okay, yeah. We got this before, technically. Okay, I think I'm going to, for the sake of my voice and my throat, leave that there for today. I don't know how much is left of this, but if there's just a little bit left, I'll probably be getting into the actual, what do you call it? The trial, whatever it's going to be for this. Are we going to get to a port and we're going to have, like, a trial there or something? Maybe? Feasible. Okay, well, I'm going to leave it there. And I plan to play this through this chapter in the near future. When I'll post them, I don't know. But that is one of my priorities for what I'm going to be doing for the channel in the future. So, I'll see you next time. Drive safely, everyone.